So the Weeknd's story is probably one of the most inspirational rags to riches stories that we have heard from the music industry in a little while. This guy literally went from living in the streets, doing drugs, to the point where he performed at the Super Bowl for millions of people around the world, and it's like truly one of the most inspirational things. One of my friends years ago called it. He was like, look out for this guy. This guy, The Weeknd, is gonna be fucking massive. At the time we were all laughing. We were like, nah, this kid's never going anywhere. He's not that great. All of a sudden, here he is. The star boy arrives. Next thing you know, After Hours, Blinding Lights, one of the biggest songs of the year. Yeah, he really has gone to new levels now. And so I thought it was criminal that I had never listened to his mixtape House of Balloons, which is known as one of the most influential mixtapes of all time. One part of the trilogy series that he made. Loads of people say about how influential it is, and I've never heard it. So today we are going to be listening to House of Balloons coming up. So guys, welcome back. My name is Ollie and I talk about music, I talk about vinyls, loads of stuff. So if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, go and follow me on TikTok, as I am like doing loads of daily videos on there. So if you want to see more vinyl videos, head over to my TikTok. But yeah, like I said, today listening to House of Balloons, an album that I'm really excited to listen to because I've become a really big Weeknd fan, and at this point in 2011, yeah, little 12-year-old Ollie, he just wasn't into this kind of music at that point. He was just listening to whatever was popular in the charts, a little bit of dance music here and there, but rap, R&B, all of that kind of genres, he wasn't listening to them. So I feel like there's a lot of artists like this where I've just missed out. The album's only 10 tracks, but it goes for an hour. Obviously it's not available on Spotify until this Sunday, when actually it turns 10 years old, hence why I'm making this video. Just interrupting this video to say this video is sponsored by recordmysterybox.co.uk. Record Mystery Box is a fantastic way to add to a current collection of records, start a new record collection, or discover new artists. They do random boxes, genre boxes, or boxes by years of both 7-inch and 12-inch vinyl, starting at only $14.99. Go check out their website today, and thanks very much to Record Mystery Box for sponsoring this video. We've got 10 songs to listen to, starting with High for This, which I'm pretty sure I've heard. Let's give this a listen.
Open your head.
The instrumental.
Let it be. Take a place.
So that was the first song, High for This. Funnily enough, I actually recognised that from an advert. Obviously an incredible instrumental there. His singing has been on point from day. The instrumental, which you think 2011, prime Skrillex, prime dubstep era. And so you had this like really heavy dubstep instrumental, awesome instrumental, good singing, obviously very sort of saucy song here. He's talking about, you know, doing drugs and having sex, which is, you know, a really good song. I think this is just a prime 2011 song. Now moving on to the next song, which is called What You Need. Love that little beat there. So there is the song What You Need. Obviously a lot more of a low-key track than the first one, but still on the same vibes of like, you know, very sexy track. I really liked that his vocals are sort of dipped down. You could tell there was like a bit of a filter on them and stuff, so they weren't like fully prevailing, and that made it a lot more subtle, as well as the instrumental had this like cool chord going through it. Very cool. And then the little sort of cymbal on top as well. Very nice track. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Not too much to say, sort of just on the same vibes of talking about sex and stuff. Next one is House of Balloons / Glass Table Girls. Let's see what I have to say about this one.
clash of the greatest. And we can test out the tables. Watch me ride this fucking beat like you fucking train. La 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 la. I'm so gone, so gone. I'm so gone, so gone. Bring out the
That was the song House of Balloons / Glass Table Girls. To start off with, the House of Balloons part of the track, it had like real elements of like that synthy sound that he's sort of gone to now. After Hours was clearly pulled from some of his earlier work. Again, the content was more about, it was almost about a girl who's like cheating and then tries to blame it on him. Then the second half, it kind of does this beat swap. He just goes rapping, which I don't think we've heard from him probably since Tell Your Friends on Beauty Behind the Madness. It's not exactly like spitting bars, like you can tell this is all pre-written, but still it's quite a clever little rap about drug taking again, which was clearly a big part of his life during the making of this project. I really like that line about we've got some brand new tables and we can test out the tables. I thought that was really clever because obviously all the drug taking. The second beat as well had like a nice little kick to it as well, sort of synthy again pulled up from a lot of elements of like dubstep and stuff that was like popular at the time. Now moving on to The Morning, which I think is another track that I might know.
the morning to the evening. Got pains from the tunnels. Paint a picture so vivid.
Loving that back and tell it's coming.
Yeah, behind closed doors that get cold so rigid. All that money, girl, girl. Had to slow down, she'll feel it in the morning. She be falling, she be girl, girl.
That was the track The Morning, probably my favourite song on the album so far. I think the bars are good. It was typical Weeknd bars though, where he's sort of singing and rapping at the same time, which I really rated. He's obviously really good at that. Some of the lyrics he paints out absolutely like a picture. Really, really clever writing from him. And the instrumental as well, just like got such good vibes from that, you know. It's got that nice little guitar playing in the background and it's very like summery, shimmery instrumental. Oh, it was glorious. And that's one thing I would say. I'm not sure how much he had to do with the production, but the instrumentals are very deep and glamorous. A lot to them, a lot of layers to them. Very similar to how After Hours is. There's just so much to the instrumentals. Really, really like this song. Okay, so the next track is Wicked Games. Let's give this track a listen.
Left my girl back home. These fucking eyes that I'm staring at. Bring your love, baby, I could bring my shame. Listen, I'll give you all I got. Oh, oh, oh.
That is the song Wicked Games. That was a great track. Loved the instrumental. You had that bass line going all through, very dark, very heavy. You had that gritty, industrial like drum hitting as well, very like rough around the edges, really hit with the beat nicely. Really liked that song. Again, his singing is so good. Like even at this point, I'm like, if this was released this year, this would be a top quality project. I'm sure it'd be a bit more polished if he made it this year. A really big album had it been released in 2021. Next we got The Party and the Afterparty, which is a really long track. It's 7 minutes 39 seconds, so let's really sink into this one and experience it alongside me.
And I'ma let you do it how you wanna, girl. I got you, girl. Oh, I got you. Pick up them shoes, I'll race your ass up on with your Louis V bag, tats on your arms, high heel shoes, make you. I couldn't got you, girl. Oh, I got it, girl. Got it, girl. What I'm saying, they don't want my love. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
So that that is the track, The Party and the After Party. First of all, talk about the party. You had this like synthy wave going all the way through and a nice like booming beat really hit. So if you're thinking about it like, oh, it's the party, it was a lot of like pulling a girl, trying to get a girl back to your house, drinking. And then the instrumental kind of slows down and you kind of get this like, it's very, very slow. And then it goes to a cappella with like a little bit of a guitar in the background or something, and then it picks up again. And like in my mind, I'm thinking of this track as like, it's another saucy track. So I'm thinking of this like Sex, like he's slowing down and it's picking up, you know, it's not all one pace. It goes off, goes really, really like intense, and then it slows down. And he sort of does that with his singing as well. He's like seeing a girl, talking about meeting a girl, shagging basically. Then it goes down again, and then it picks back up about how it's all so good that he can't answer his phone. Yeah, very naughty topic, and it's clever how he's kind of got the song to like, it's given me that idea that that's what it's about, and that's purely from the fact of like the instrumental, how it dips, as well as the lyrics, so they're sort of working in synergy there, which I really like. Next up, we've got the track Coming Down.
Girl, I do that again. I always want you when I come. I'm always tight with something.
So that was the track Coming Down. Theme of that song was about someone being on drugs, and then, you know, when they're on drugs, maybe being dismissive to their partner. However, when they like get off the drugs, when they come down, they start to like want them back and want to pay them more attention and all of that stuff. So I like how some of the instrumentals like illustrate the point of the song. I felt like with that one, he was in a daze. The vocals weren't totally clear, so it made it feel like he's just in this daze of like, I don't know what's going on here, but I do know I want this. So clever the way this is done. You can tell like a lot more thought is put into his work. There's a lot more deeper going on here. So the next track is called Loft Music. Let's give this track a little listen.
Oh, but I know love so lost, and my niggas, man, these bitches can't. You excited?
So that was the track Loft Music. This track sort of took the theme of like taking a girl up to the loft that he lives in, just having sex, doing drugs. There was that line about how he never goes for a girl that doesn't have 20 different pills in them. This maybe isn't my favourite track because the outro is a bit long, but I kind of like the spaciness of it. Like you could tell that he got to a point and he was like on a drugs trip, and he was just going, he was monging out and nothing was really happening. He was just spacing out. I felt like that's what that part of the track represented. Not my favourite track, but I thought it was decent still. And like the lyricism is really good. The singing's good. The instrumental was more upbeat than the rest of the track list. We've got 2 more songs left. Next one up is called The Knowing, and then the final track is 28. So let's listen to The Knowing.
But baby, it don't hurt. I know.
Mate, that guitar. There was the track The Knowing. That was a track that didn't necessarily have loads of lyrics, but the theme was quite clear to see. Again, another track about sleeping with a woman that had had equally as much sex as he had. I liked very much the guitar that came in at the end. Like the beat was beautiful throughout, but the guitar that kind of really came in at the end, the last part of the track, really took it home for me. And now, finally, the last track, 28. This is the last track, and after this track, I'll give you my final thoughts on this project.
Should've known to let you in my room. Hey, been lonely. Get on it down. I'm so wrong. The glad. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. Hey.
that was the final track on the album, which is actually a bonus track on House of Balloons called 28. Apparently it was called that for two reasons. Obviously, number one, it was his 28th track that he'd made, and number two is obviously 28 is like an ounce, which is obviously referring to more drugs. I felt like I got this vibe that there was this girl that he'd slept with that he really connected with, and then she was just not really feeling it, so she kind of sacked him off and was like, yeah, just, you know, go and sleep with my mate, do this, do that. And he was just so obsessed with this woman. When it hit, you had that very subtle dubstep instrumental. Now for my final thoughts on the album. Throughout, I really enjoyed it. I thought the instrumentals were really good. His singing from the start, like, considering this was 10 years ago, he's as good of a singer then as he is now. That's obviously to a very high standard. Same as his instrumentals. They were all an incredibly high standard. Such deep production, a lot of layers to all the instrumentals. I really enjoyed the themes of this album. I love an album that has a theme throughout. This definitely had a theme of drugs and love, and sometimes they combined, sometimes they were separate, and yeah, that was such a clever concept for this album. In terms of his discography, I think my favourite album of his is After Hours. I think this could be my second favourite Weeknd project. I think it's such a clever project, really consistently good. The key in music, its influence, is his own, which is fantastic, because I love when an artist builds on what they've already done and just makes it better and better and better, which the Weeknd has. I'm gonna do a little score now. And that was my thoughts on the album. What do you think of the album? Leave a comment down below, letting me know what's your thoughts on House of Balloons. 10 years on, is it as still good as it was back in the day? Make sure you like the video if you did enjoy it, and also comment the next album I should do one of these reactions to. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Follow my TikTok at OllieGator98. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.